Dobson. Lilian, congratulations.
Well, it looks like everyone's ready. The sun rises on a brisk, snowy day in January, and an infant cries. There lies a small peach tree, abandoned at the steps of a government building, the source of the cry. A woman notices and walks over to peer inside, discovering a bundled-up infant and a note that reads, "Congratulations, you have a girl, born December 22nd, 2002. That child was me. Like millions of other abandoned girls in China, my biological parents wanted a boy. I don't know how long I remained outside, crying, hungry, and afraid. But unlike so many others, I survived. I was the lucky one. I would love for you to understand the impact of Chinese adoption through three main ideas: policy, perspective, and purpose. We can see how Chinese culture affects adoption through my first P, policy. In 1979, the Chinese government imposed the one-child policy throughout 40% of China due to overpopulation. Parents who broke this rule, according to Business Insider, would be forced into either birth contraceptive methods, or would have to pay double or sometimes quadruple their yearly salary to the government. Quote, in 2013, the Chinese government revealed that 336 million abortions and 196 million sterilizations had been performed since the early 1970s. You may have noticed that most of the children adopted from China are primarily girls. Chinese culture views boys as more valuable than girls. Consequently, girls are often discreetly aborted or abandoned. Parents leave their babies at or near a government building in hopes that someone will take their baby to an orphanage. In most orphanages, newly arriving infants are put outside for days, and only the strongest are kept. Even so, a typical orphanage houses anywhere from 300 to 350 children and roughly 250 disabled or elderly adults. China is a very proud culture. Of the thousands of orphanages spread across the country, only a few hundred actually allow foreigners to visit. These select orphanages are less of an embarrassment to their culture. An article from The Atlantic describes one of these select orphanages in an eyewitness account from a man who frequently visited from October to December of 1994 with an orphanage employee named Christine. Most of the children he saw looked disabled. They are not disabled, rather malnourished. He states, quote, children's eyes beg for human warmth and affection. Their bottles lie untouched, as though they are too weak, too indifferent, or still too young to make the effort, end quote. The weak children are moved to the end of the line. He, quote, never saw these children being fed. Christine, who had been visiting for more than 2.5 years, has watched them disappear, end quote. She visited the dying children each week, but never touched or held them. She feels, quote, such human contact would be cruel to those who have never known human warmth or affection or hope, and would perhaps prolong their dying, end quote. Imagine never being touched or held as a child. But these children are not completely homeless. Some of them are compassionately adopted by out-of-country couples. What of these adopted children? Think about their story. The answer is found in my second key, perspective. I was adopted at the age of 11 months from Changsha, China, and I feel incredibly blessed. Growing up, my parents would always tell me that my biological parents loved me. When I was 7, I began asking a lot of questions about my biological parents. My mom and I cried together as we talked about the family I could never know. More recently, and adopted at the same time as me, told me how her friend Zoe didn't appreciate her own family and always complained about them. Sammy grew angry because she realized so many people don't appreciate the fact that they have a biological family who loves them, let alone picturing having no family at all. This got me reflecting. What do my biological parents look like? What are their names? Do I look like them? Do I have biological siblings? Is my family trying to find me? What would my life look like if I hadn't been adopted and left in an orphanage? How different would I be? Another question I pondered more deeply was, if my parents really loved me, why did they give me up? This one question leaves many children feeling as though they are not good enough because their own family didn't love them enough to keep them. A feeling, I believe, leaves to feeling abandoned, unworthy, insecure, and a need to be witnessed. Some of which I have felt before, but not to the extent that most adoptees do. The reason why I don't get overly upset over feelings of abandonment is because of one simple truth. I am incredibly blessed. I can confidently say that the single most important result of my adoption is that I was fortunate enough to be adopted into a Christian family who taught me about Jesus Christ. The story of Esther in the Bible tells us that Esther was an orphan and raised by her older cousin Mordecai. In a time of fear before she went to the king to save her Jewish people, her cousin tells her that perhaps she was born for a time such as this. Esther's story resonates with me because I am. I can't help but feel that I was protected from death to share my story in order to bring others to Christ. If I had stayed in China, a place where Christians are persecuted, I may have never known Christ and would have never lived out his purpose to witness about him. I like to tell people that I have three dads: my biological father, my adopted father, and my one true father, God. If it weren't for adoption, I would not have a relationship with two of them. I finally understand that my story and knowledge of adoption has a unique purpose. This leads me to my final P of purpose. Before I was adopted, it used to greatly upset my parents when people would ask them if they could love an adopted child as much as their biological children. Even my grandparents were very worried when my parents made the decision to adopt. But they took that leap of faith and adopted in spite of the concerns others had for them because of James 1:27. It states, "The religion that God our Father considers as pure and faultless is this: to take care of widows and orphans in their distress." In 2004, there remained 1 million Chinese girls abandoned in orphanages across China. Only 7,000 were adopted that year. Most girls will spend their young lives living in conditions too difficult to describe. And when they become young adults, they will leave the orphanage with an elementary grade education and forced to perform manual labor or mushrooms. But I want you to walk away with one primary message today. How is adoption so impactful? When children are adopted, they have the freedom to learn about Christ. This transforms their lives just like it did mine. My story has impacted my two brothers to want to adopt so that they may guide children to Christ. I too plan on adopting. But I and the many other children who are adopted each year are not the only ones who are called adopted. You see, the Bible tells us that all believers in Christ are called adopted children of God. In fact, John 1:12 states, "Yet to all who did receive him, to those who believed in his name, he gave the right to become children of God." We are all orphans, found or being pursued by the magnificent Savior, the creator of the universe, the Father, the one who loves us more than we can fathom. If you are a child of God, I want to encourage you to share your adoption story as well. The story of how God came and saved you from your orphan state. Remember, whenever you are feeling lost, unloved, or purposeless, that the creator of the universe is actively pursuing you, and you have a Father who loves you. Today, I shared about Chinese adoption through the policy, perspective, and purpose. hope that today you have learned something new. You will share the impact adoption has on these children in need, and that you know you are called an adopted child of God. Thank you so much.